Hey everybody, what is up? Welcome back to Final Trade. We're going to take our first look at Caverns of Ixalan collector box pre-sales data off of TCG Player at the 2-week prior to release mark, Friday, November 3rd. So all the pre-release period up through that point, it had sold 704 collector boxes on TCG Player at a total of $153,000 for an average price of $218 per box, compared to that kind of notional $222 break-even cost for a small card store to sell collector boxes on a big marketplace and break even. So what to compare it against? We're going to put on here the recent standard sets going back through Brothers War, and I will not include Dominaria United because people were going nuts for the Lost Legends cards. And when we put the collector boxes of all of those sets up here against this blue line of Caverns of Ixalan, which again is only running through release -14 at this point, we see it's in family with recent standard expansion collector boxes. That's good to see. So I have a couple thoughts about this, and I had made a video several days ago talking about the various chase cards that are in these Caverns of Ixalan collector boxes. There are the Jurassic Park emblem foil cards, which are somewhat analogous to the Transformer Shattered Glass foils that were in Brothers War collector boxes. And then, of course, there are the Neon Ink Cavern of Souls and Mana Crypt cards in these boxes that are, again, somewhat analogous to the Hidetsugu Neon Parallel ink cards from the Kamigawa collector boxes a year and a half ago. And, you know, in the case of Brothers War, after those boxes came out, they actually spiked in price a bit. I went back and looked at the data, and they got back up to the mid 220s because of people realizing just how rare the Shattered Glass Transformer cards were, but also realizing that those original serialized artifact cards in the Brothers War collector boxes were selling better in the secondary market than people kind of expected they would. I mean, originally those were selling $300, $400, $500, $800, $1,000 for a lot of them, just depending on what specific artifact you got. And again, with the Hidetsugu Neon Parallel Chase cards in the Kamigawa collector boxes, the red ink version of that spiked all the way into around $1,600, $1,700, $1,800 for completed sales on TCG Player after the boxes came out. And along with that, the sealed collector boxes of Kamigawa spiked all the way up into the 280s after release before coming down over time. And so I remember those two kind of price action histories of those chase cards in recent collector boxes that are somewhat analogous to the two chase cards that are in this Lost Caverns of Ixalan collector box. And I think, what is the market doing here when the Lost Caverns of Ixalan line is still in family with these recent collector box sales lines at this point in the relative life cycles? And I think, what are they doing? Is the market kind of missing that this is going to happen? Or is the market exactly pricing in that this is going to happen, but then just like Brothers War and Kamigawa collector boxes, the prices will come back down? And, you know, today Brothers War boxes are just a hair under $200, and the same with Kamigawa boxes. They've both come down in this kind of crisis of confidence market that Magic has created for itself. And it makes me wonder, are there people out there who are looking at this and kind of salivating and saying, well, you know, initially I could buy a bunch of these Lost Caverns of Ixalan collector boxes, break them open, get those chase cards, and sell them off on the secondary market pretty quick before the secondary market prices crash? Or has the whole market just kind of taken the opinion that, well, it's a standard expansion, the supplemental products in the expansion, the draft boxes and the set boxes, will be printed for up to 3 years. And so the price pressure on the single cards will be very great for a very long time, which will eventually push down the prices of these sealed Caverns of Ixalan collector boxes. And so there's no rush. And so even though there are potentially good chase cards in the boxes, you don't need to buy them right now. And that's why the market is down here. And so I sit around and I think about these things, and I just wonder, you know, what is the average market sentiment, and why has it driven the price to where it is right now? So, I don't know, kind of a long, rambling discussion of the kind of nonsense that goes through my brain when I look at data like these. So I'll come back in another week. We'll take a look 1 week closer to release, and then a look the day after release, and 30 and 60 days post-release to see how these go. I don't cover collector boxes beyond 30 days post-release because most of the interesting price action has happened, and collector boxes are only printed once, so while there are restock waves, there are no reprints. And so a lot of the interesting things that can ever potentially happen in the lifetime price action of collector boxes is already done by 60 days post-release. So let me know what you think. Thanks to everyone who makes this content possible, especially my very generous supporters on Patreon. Like, comment, share, and subscribe, and join me on Final Trade.